Been a long time since I heard something like this. This is John King, and this is how, whoop, something just happened. Oh boy, I can't reach over there.
What the heck?
What happened? Oh boy. Watch the coffee.
Why is that? It's really loud.
All right, we are back now. Okay, everything is okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did that clean out your ears or what? If that didn't clean out your ears, I don't know what could have. All right. We just got massive feedback in the studio, but that's okay. It happens. I do want to play this clip, okay? And this is John King on CNN, all right? And this was before the president's speech last night. Listen. Okay, now this is crazy to me. And the last time that I saw anyone in the media behave this way was on January 6th. So let me go through this again. This was before the president's speech last night. Okay, so don't you like this? You know, we've got these Democrat socialist commies taking over, right? And the Democrat socialist communist, if you go to the communist countries of the world, they have state-controlled news and everything else, and they decide what the people can hear. So here you have CNN's John King telling you what truth is, what is not truth, and if they deem something not to be truthful, when it comes, now keep in mind, we're talking about the President of the United States of America, right, who won the popular vote, won all the battleground states and everything else. So they're going to be the decider of what the President of the United States says is truthful or not you, the viewer. And if they deem that it's not truthful, they're not going to share it with you. So that's the first part. This is totally insane. Does this not give credibility to everything President Trump said? Okay, so whoever the president is, all presidents have the authority to declassify anything they want just by saying so, right? Like the president could declassify Area 51. And the media have a long history of reporting classified information. In fact, just last week, there's a big investigation going on right now. Just last week, the New York Times, and it was followed up by CNN and every other news outlet, reported classified information without any investigating or any vetting. Just last week, remember? The new Air Force One. Someone, some reporters at the New York Times said they had a source, which they probably made up, right? They said they had a source, and the source said that the new Air Force One doesn't have the proper defense mechanisms on it. Now, that's classified information, highly classified information, because it doesn't involve something that happened 6 years ago. It involves the airplane that carries the president, members of the cabinet, and even the media. But I didn't hear John King, CNN, or any of these other liberal news outlets say, well, wait a minute, this is classified information. We need to investigate this. We need to But with the president's speech last night, they have to vet all that. They have to go through all that. They have to make sure that that classified information is correct with their sources and analysts, as opposed to the president, who has the highest security clearance there is. If there is news, they're going to decide what news is. Man, oh man, this just blows my mind. And this is what happened on January 6th. And I remember one in particular. I've referenced this one in the past, but not for a while. But Neil Cavuto, who I do not miss on Fox. I just could not stand that guy, Neil Cavuto. I never did like him. But I don't remember if it was January 6th or 7th, or maybe 8th, but it was either January 6th, 7th, or 8th. It might have been actually, more I think about it, I think it was January 6th, but I'm not married to that. It's one of those 3 days. President Trump, he's president of the United States, he comes out to address the American people. Neil Cavuto is on. He cuts away. They had a live feed at the White House. The president's about to speak. And he says, well, the president of the United States is about to speak, and we are cutting away because he could incite an insurrection, and we can't allow that on Fox News. I couldn't believe. And if you remember on January 6th, when there was an emergency going on, in Washington, D.C., and the president was trying to communicate to people to go home and all of that, every media outlet cut off all lines of communication out of the White House. He couldn't get on social media. He couldn't get on television. He couldn't get online. They all shut down all lines of communication from the President of the United States, which, by the way, that the fact that they all did it instantly tells me that there was a coup going on right there. They were thinking about, that day, they were thinking about making Pence the president. Do you know that? They were trying to get people in the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment and make Pence the president during those days, during those weeks. But they cut the President of the United States off all lines of communication outside the White House. And now they're doing a light version of it. And I'm here to tell you that if what they're saying, if what they're telling you about the president's speech was in any way, shape, or form even slightly true, they would carry it. When liberals talk, there's nothing better than liberals talking. Like this Congressman, Massey's friend, that's having sex with all the young staffers, scumbag, those girls, they having sex with that. Have you seen that guy? I can't wait to hear this guy talk. I'd let him talk all day. He's going to make a fool out of himself, right? That's awesome. When there's someone that you don't like, who said the best way to discredit someone that you don't like is to let them speak, especially if they're sharing something that is absurd and stupid and foolish and ridiculous. But they didn't do that last night. What are they afraid of? All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Our number is 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by, hang in there. Don't go anywhere. I want to talk about, I want to talk about those of you that suffer from neuropathy. If you suffer from neuropathy or someone that you know and love suffer from neuropathy, call Lighthouse Medical. The consultation is free if you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. And remember, no matter what stage of neuropathy you are in, Lighthouse Medical can help you. I've just seen it work miracles now because I've met so many listeners now that have had treatment at Lighthouse Medical. You know what I was talking about when I went over there a few weeks ago? Everyone I met that was a listener that had neuropathy treatment, I met them after the treatment, and they were all better. Okay, and I saw people that went in there that are in very advanced stages of neuropathy. They've gone through treatment and they have gotten their life back too. In fact, they see improvement like Steve Kane did after the very first treatment. It is amazing. It works, and they're saving lives over there because, well, a couple things. One of the biggest problems with neuropathy is loss of balance. You fall down all the time. You know, you have neuropathy. You're older. You fall down. That could be it. Your lights could be out for good, right? You could hit your head. You break a bone. You could be out of commission. You know, and so saving lives by that most definitely. But also, when people have neuropathy, as it gets worse, and it does get worse if it's not treated, you become bedridden. That's not a life. Go to Lighthouse Medical, get your life back, be able to travel, be able to go shopping, be able to drive again, be able to go out and have a meal, be able to go see your kids or your grandkids. Give them a call. Remember, the consultation is free. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. You're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice.
They're working, Mike.
AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast. Partly sunny.
It's working.
Chance of showers and thunderstorms.
So what'd you do?
Daytime high expected.
I wish I knew.
Did you do anything in there?
Early in the evening, becoming mostly cloudy, then mainly clear.
That feedback was the headphones.
I was about to say, the only thing I really did was just
They were up
turn
to
it
it.
quickly because of it. But
I guess it blew out the whatever was holding it back.
that's what I was thinking.
But
Overnight low in the low 80s.
It's playing it off.
there's a little distortion, but
Oh, it might be too loud. Wait. Oh, wait.
oh my goodness.
I was about to say, probably.
This one's better.
Well, I was going to say, it's probably
This sounds better.
all good otherwise.
The traffic's a little distorted,
Sorry.
overmodulated. But the spots were fine.
All northbound lanes
is a
are
little bit loud.
blocked, so use another route. Florida Highway Patrol out of Lake Worth has issued a
Yeah, it was just a little loud.
That's okay.
But the better, right?
Florida tag SMC
Okay.
50.
All right. So you don't know what you did.
I really didn't. I wish I could take credit for whatever.
Okay.
it fixed, but I didn't.
Well, that's
well,
okay.
I did one thing, but it wasn't even in the studio. I was gonna just because when I was trying to figure out like a good alternative, if there was another way, Michael was like, "Oh, why don't you just?" Because the green screen room has the headphones as well that connects to the station, and I switched one of the pods to one of, well, not the pods, one of the headphone things to it, and it was working, so I was gonna just ask why to take the mic and put it on that one, but
Oh, okay. But this worked.
it worked. But that was the only thing I did otherwise, so maybe that.
Did you do that? Was that what caused the feedback?
No, that was after.
If they just popped on out of the blue, and it was on full blast.
So it had
Okay.
to, like,
Okay.
some sort of. I have no idea why it did that. I really don't. Like you said, I guess it cleared it out.
There's never a downtime. They're old school, which means call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse? Weather, traffic, whatever. Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Give Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and
The
everywhere
magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Give Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone. Don't need. You're on on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? 602-954-604-4602. He covers both the East and West.
Well, the President of the United States is about to speak.
954-604-4602.
What they wanted to do, they didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. And it's not only the trust, there's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always, always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries could go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal. The Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. And one of our listeners, Raymond, from one of our new radio stations in Stewart, sent me some really cool, look at this, really cool, some Trump 2028, what do you call these? I forgot what you call these. Visors. Visors, thank you very much. You know, and it's a funny thing because when I was at my 4th of July party, there was somebody there wearing a Trump visor, and it was, I think it was a Trump 2028 visor, and they said, "Oh, you don't have any visors, Brian?" I said, "No, I don't. I'd like to have one, but I don't have any." And Raymond and Stuart sent me two, so thanks, Raymond. I'll definitely wear those. All right, so let's go to the phones, and I do have more to share, and I will play some of what the president said, without a doubt. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Craig from Winter Garden. How you doing?
All right, Craig, what's up?
Well, Brian, just a couple things real quick from listening to the president last night, and I think this is what we as MAGA have to look forward to. First thing is the redistricting. We know what that's been doing, how that's gained in so many different seats. We didn't redistrict anyway. They did. We're just straightening out what they did.
Well, what we did is we corrected the gerrymandering that the Democrats have put in place. Yes.
Correct. That's one thing. The second thing is the Save America Act with the voter ID, basically. Can you imagine if a voter had to have ID to vote? That's going to wipe out a big percentage of the Democrat votes.
Well, the purpose, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, the other thing is money. We've got, I've heard reports with President Trump, everything he can raise between now and even the midterm could be close to $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats are like $15 million in debt.
Mm-hmm.
So add all that up. Now, there's one other, let's see, real quick, is the registration. I've heard like Scott Presler saying the Republicans are out registering the Democrats like 4-1.
Everywhere.
And that's amazing.
Nationwide.
And the last thing, exactly, nationwide. And the last thing I want to go over real quick, and nobody really talks about it yet because it's a few years out, but it's the new census coming up in 2030.
Mm-hmm.
All these states, like California, New York, all the big liberal states, Illinois, and they're losing thousands of people. And you're thinking, well, why is their delegates still the same? The electoral votes and stuff, because the census hasn't happened. When that happens in 2030, they're going to lose a ton.
Well, the way the Electoral College works, a state has the same number of Electoral College members as you do House members. So if you have 25 House seats in your state, you get 25 Electoral College votes. That's how it works. Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
But if you lose people from that state, then you lose Electoral College.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen when they count them up. So that's all these things are what we as MAGA have to look forward to. And I'll tell you, I'm so happy and thrilled from listening to the president last night and everything else coming up. We're in good shape. We're going to be in good
Well, the reason that Trump did that last night, they want to frame he can't get over 2020. It's not that it wasn't about. They want to say that he can't get over 2020, and that's not what that was about at all last night. He obviously wants to correct the historical record, but what it was really about was putting the pressure on this creep traitor Thune to pass the Save America Act through the Senate. That's what it was really about.
Absolutely. man, and
Yeah, I don't do that. No, wait, I don't encourage people to do that or give out the numbers.
no, I'm saying what he said. I'm
Yeah,
just repeating what
yeah.
he said.
No, he did. Listen, I appreciate the call from Winter Garden, Florida. The thing about the Save America Act, it's not being held up by the Democrats. It's being held up by one man, John Thune. Well, and he's in league with a bunch of lowlives. But, it's being held up by Thune. And he really should be impeached from the Senate. I mean, what he's doing is so insane. I mean, I'm not even upset with the Democrats about the Save America Act. It's all John Thune. There's no question about it. So there's another clip here I wanted to play from the fake news media. And this is Margaret Brennan. And Margaret Brennan, she's another beaut. She's on CBS. She does their Sunday show. She was there last night, and she's as white. She's whiter than me, because I got a little bit of sun from living in Florida, but she's as white can be, and she's married to a Muslim man. Her husband is a Syrian. And I know a lot of you may think that's not a big deal, but I kind of think it is. I think she should maybe have to disclose that at least once a week, because obviously her opinions are very biased. President Trump in the Muslim ban and such. But I wonder if her kids are being raised Muslim. Judaism passes down through the mother. If your mother's a Jew, you're a Jew. If your mother's not a Jew, you're not a Jew, even if your dad is. With Muslims, it passes down through the fathers. So I don't know if she raises her kids Muslim or not. I think it's worth knowing. And is she Muslim? I don't know. She may be. She may be. Anyway, I want to share. This is Margaret Brennan last night on CBS with the president's speech. Oh, wait a second. I got to hit the wrong pot. This one. Now this blows my mind, and this is why I shared this. They won't carry the president of the United States. They won't tell you what he said until they fact check it. But Margaret Brennan's going to read a statement from the CCP. They don't have to fact check that, and they take that as the gospel, or maybe in her instance, the Quran. Okay, now don't you just love it? Oh, okay, it's all settled. China said they're good guys. We can trust the Chinese that throw the babies into the river, right? And do all the other terrible things that I don't have to tell you about. Oh, okay, Margaret Brennan. Since China said they're the good guys, okay. You want to read a statement from Al Qaeda next and ISIS? What a psycho. Oh my goodness, what are you going to do about it? I guess we're going to go to China and take the good word of the CCP. This is crazy. And, Margaret Brennan, CNN is the CIA. I've talked about this a lot. They're the CIA. That's just the way it is. But I'm starting to think CBS is CCP. You can't. Yeah. Well, I looked at the clock. Let me take the break on time. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Tom Laporta has been with us here on the Steve Kane Show for many, many years, and over those years, I've heard from so many listeners in this audience who have either had roof repair or replacement from Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. And people just love him. They love his work. His entire crew are a team of artisans. And, Tom Laporta is a good MAGA guy who will never sell you a roof you do not need. And what that means is if you just need a simple repair, Tom Laporta will do it. And I've met so many listeners that thought they needed a new roof. No, you just need a repair. Thought they needed a repair and they didn't even have a roof leak and there was one listener, his AC unit, the drain from his AC unit was on his ceiling. It wasn't, he thought his roof was leaking, it was the drain on his AC. Tom Laporta said, no, it's your. Have you ever heard another roofing company say they will never sell you a roof you do not need? It seems like such a common sense thing, but it's not. Give Tom Laporta a call. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, so you could call or text Tom Laporta at 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
When someone you love needs more support than you can give at home, it can be hard to know where to turn. At the Harrison Assisted Living and Memory Care of Stewart, we're here to help your family find peace of mind. Our compassionate caregivers provide personalized assistance.
Now, what was... Okay, now, don't you just love it? Oh, okay, it's all settled.
Your loved one can truly call home. Let us walk this journey with you.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Visit harrisonstewart.com
Yeah.
to learn more.
So whatever is, I guess the headphones have to be in program, and then
Yeah, it's a both program and
that's very strange.
both program and this.
Okay.
But I don't know why it didn't work originally. I guess it, like you said, clear it out.
Well, it's working now.
I'll let them know though and see if there's a reason why it did that. But we're good.
Then help you find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. You don't have to figure this out alone. Call Debbie today at 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. Debbie can help you with your Medicare no matter where you're located in the state of Florida. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, helping you make Medicare simple.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Coleman every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible, pray, and offer blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. This is Richie the bus driver.
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever.
Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Yeah, this is the visor. Pretty cool, huh? It's a nice visor. I like it.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office.
What do you guys think? That looks good. You guys like that? Yeah, I like it. I can wear this. I haven't had a visor since I was a kid.
Doctor's order or prescription if needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing, and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, it sure is. I'm Brian Craig. Welcome, everyone. And, of course, it is open phones today, Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. However, this is where my focus and where my head is. But, you know, that's me. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. Dr. Tech.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Hey, man. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
How's your wife? How's your wife?
She's doing well, too.
Okay, good. Hey, I was calling this morning about y'all all upset about the speech last night. I was listening to several people this morning. All that what Trump talked about last night, that's been debunked so many times.
Really? What's been debunked that he said?
Right. He lost the 20 election.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He said he said as an example, he said there's over 250,000 non-citizens in 4 states. Really, where has that been debunked? You know, they don't. Oh, hold on a second here. Hold on a second. I'm so sick and tired of all this liberal garbage out there. You know, you guys on the left. What? Yeah. Well, that's fine. You know, you got. Are you gonna act like a decent human being?
I am a decent human being.
I don't think so, because you're just a liar. You know, this thing about this thing. Listen, hold on a second. This thing about the 250,000 non-citizens registered to vote in 4 separate states. That's never been brought up before. That's brand new. In fact, not only is it brand new, it was something that the Justice Department just really recently learned. And when you say it was it was how the hell could it be debunked when it was mentioned for the first time last night when it was declassified? Either you're stupid and you're repeating something that somebody else said, or you're a liar.
You know that's not right.
This was just released for the first time last night. No. How could something be debunked that was only released at about 9:15 last night? Debunking it isn't. No. Debunking it isn't saying it's debunked. That's not debunking it. Get off the phone. I mean, just as stupid. That is new information that he declassified and dropped last night. No one has debunked it. So just because you say it's debunked doesn't mean it's been debunked. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Ugh.
This is Steve from Staten Island.
Steve in Staten Island. What's on your mind, Steve?
Well, I used to know about that last call, but the thing is that it's unbelievable with the news wanting to always hold over with the president. I don't think did they ever do that to Biden?
It's to my knowledge, it has not been done by any other president. I've never seen them do this with any. Well, we can't carry this until we fact check it. By the way, let me read this statement from the CCP, which we don't have to fact check because we trust the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, are you kidding me, Margaret Brennan?
I know, it's really ridiculous. I mean, you're not going to believe the president, fine. You're not going to believe the president. Then after he speaks, you can pull in like a little argument table, I don't know what this is, I don't know if this is. That's fine. But to go and say, well, we don't believe you, we believe that you're Chinese communist news people, I go, whose side are you on? Jeez.
Yeah.
These idiots.
Yeah.
I said, that's very good. But the thing is, it's going to president again, and all the people that they wanted, Kamala Harris back. No, because it was part of an administration that failed America.
That's right.
That is what it is, and that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with being female or she's black.
And you know, debunking something isn't saying that's been debunked. That's not debunking it. Okay, that's just using a word. That's just a way to not have to deal with it. And what the media are doing are spreading lies right now. None of what President Trump, what he released, most everything he said last night is newly declassified, including these documents of FBI agents talking about how they're withholding and watering down the presidential daily briefing for him. That's all new. That was previously unknown. They found it in burn bags that they didn't burn. I guess they were burning so much they didn't get to them. And none of these things, everything he said last night, he brought evidence that was new information from newly declassified documents. So there's been no debunking because the documents just dropped last night. They're all over the internet now, and debunking them is not saying is just saying it's debunked. That's not debunking. Everything that he said last night was backed up by government documents, most of it from the deep state, and that was newly declassified that they found in those burn bags that Bongino and Kash Patel were talking about all the time at the FBI.
Exactly. So the thing is, how can you say, oh, it's gone out of that gun stuff when you just got it?
Exactly.
And they haven't even opened up to and looked through it.
Yes.
I mean, go look. Give yourself time, look through the old building, and they say, oh, well, this is it. Okay, but that's after you look through the whole thing. That's, we just got the same, it's got to be debunked already.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid.
It is. All right, well, I appreciate the call, Steve. You take care, all right? You call me again sometime. Yeah, I mean, it's just insane to me. You know what it is? You know, like where I lost my cool a little bit there with Doc. You know, I just can't handle just the lying to my face like that. Well, I guess to my ears because he's not physically here, but just lying without even thinking about it, right? I just can't tolerate that. I mean, deal with the facts. And let's see here. Do we have time? Yeah, let me play this. This is Major Garrett. He used to be on Fox, and I thought he was a good guy. And they went over to CBS, and we found out he was a liberal. This is Major Garrett over on CBS last night.
In cooperation with 12 states, the administration believes it has found 25,000 non-citizens on voter rolls, and it extrapolates from that the connection of 250,000 non-citizens on voter rolls in our country. Again, that's a number that would probably, to our viewers, cause some sense of concern. One thing to know about that, just because you're on a voter roll does not mean you're an active participant. Lots of Americans are on rolls and don't cast ballots in elections.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, like you go, any of you ever go online and see all the registered sex offenders in your neighborhood? I'm proud to say that there are none in my neighborhood. Now, a couple developments over, there's a whole bunch. Oh, yeah, yeah, there's all these registered sex offenders. That doesn't mean they're molesting children. They're just a registered sex offender. Oh, okay. I'll live around that. What a dumb statement, Major Garrett.
And states do a pretty good job of trying to scrub their voter rolls on a regular basis to look for this, but the administration will ask the states to be more aggressive in this space. 25,000, is that what you said? Yes. Across 12 states? Yes. With how many millions of voters? Well, let's go back to the 220 million. That's almost all the voter rolls, so it's a very small percentage.
No, see, this is what I'm talking about. No, it's 250,000 over 4 states, and President Trump said we only have data on 4 states because most of the states wouldn't cooperate and give us the information.
Of a very large registration voter roll across all 50 states. 68 million voters is the number I have here from an earlier briefing. So you've got 25,000 potential non-citizens.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I have never seen propaganda like this ever. This is the worst. I want to talk, though, about Mike Lindell and MyPillow. You know, the president endorsed Mike Lindell, who's running for governor in Minnesota. He's in first place, and Polymarket has him way ahead as the projected winner. Right now, the Mega 2 sale's going on. Some of the greatest deals I have ever seen at MyPillow.com. So go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, for huge savings, okay? If there's some MyPillow products you've been thinking of getting, this is the time. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, 1 hour is down, 2 to go. I already have a headache. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. We'll come back with more calls. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian, and it is open phones every Friday, Open Mega Mike Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind, but this is what's on my mind, so I'm going to continue to go with this. But you can call in about anything you want on Open Mega Mike Friday. All right, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll take our top of the hour break and be right back.
Roofers who respond. Call 844-4-CODE-RED. CodeRedRoofers.com. Here's your oldies forecast.
Partly sunny Friday, good chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly this afternoon. Daytime high expected into the lower 90s tonight. Showers and thunderstorms early in the evening, becoming mostly cloudy, then mainly clear late night.
Yeah, so Raymond, who sent me the super cool visors, and these are good too. They got the sweatband there. He sent me a nice card too.
Overnight low around the 80 mark, and Sunday about the same with a high into the lower 90s. Overnight low.
Brian, thank you so much for the hours of great radio. You truly are the next Rush Limbaugh. Oh my goodness, what a compliment. I noticed you have the Trump hat, but you don't have the Trump visor. Well, they put a smiley face and signed it. Ray. Well, thank you, Ray. I should read that on the radio since he's listening on the radio.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Vehicle crash with injuries and a roadblock in Palm Beach County. I-95 northbound, south of Donald Ross Road at mile marker 83 in Jupiter. All northbound lanes are blocked, so use another route. Florida Highway Patrol out of Lake Worth has issued a silver alert that's for an endangered adult. Be on the lookout for a white Toyota Prius Florida tag SFjr 50. If you see that vehicle, dial star 347. From the traffic center, I'm Ray Thomas.
That's your traffic brought to you by PBKC. Freedom, fireworks, and high hands. It's all happening this July in the poker room at PBKC. The excitement never stops with high hands every 15 minutes, every day from 9 a.m. to midnight. Plus a $15,000 cash giveaway and $100,000 progressive weekends. Take your shot at exciting new July poker tournaments or hit the tables for Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum.
Yeah, this is one of my. I've got a couple of these. This is one of the hats of wisdom. This is one of my MAGA hats that the president has seen with his own eyes, up close, like this close. So I always feel like when I'm wearing one of my MAGA hats that the president has seen with his own eyes, that I'm a little smarter on the air on those days. I have a couple of these that I wear. I've got a couple other hats, like the one I got at Mar-a-Lago that I don't wear, that he's seen with his own eyes.
We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At LaPorta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. The Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I was very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. And it's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave explain everything to them, which is a big deal. The Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, it sure is. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm going to go to the phones, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I gotta be honest, I was very disappointed last night with that from the Oval Office with the president. I didn't know it was from the Oval Office. I don't think
That's not the Oval Office. That's not the Oval Office.
No, he was saying I was very disappointed with it, and I'm going to explain why I was.
Well, before you do, I'll just say this to the audience. Isn't Richie always disappointed with President Trump? Just for context. But that's okay. Go ahead.
No.
Sure.
I understand what he was trying to do. The first 5 minutes was like the State of the Union. I mean, and not for nothing, you hear the same thing over and over about the same thing. And then when he got to the meat of the subject, the declassification. And to me, watching that, I'm saying, myself, I'm not a big reader. You're educated. You like reading books. So you'll do the research. The average American is not going to go on government documents.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Right now, the documents are all over X. Okay, and like there's one of them is an email, and they're up there by themselves, right? People are taking screenshots of the documents. One is an FBI agent, and he says, "Oh, I've got my own secret government here." Another one is another person is, "Oh, we've watered down the presidential daily briefing so he doesn't hear any of this stuff." And I mean, come on.
Right. Hold it. This is how I see it. I'm seeing the average lazy American. I'm not saying the people that go on X. Not everyone's on X. Not everyone. The point is that he gave these media outlets a big out because they can go through it and they can spin it the way they want. He should have just come direct.
He did. He gave highlights of the documents.
Name names right off the bat. Are there any names in these documents?
I don't know. Some of them are redacted. The FBI agent one, the name was redacted.
Well, he declassified everything.
Well, but legally, the reason they redact the names is so that there can be a fair prosecution.
You mentioned that John King. I think it was John King after the speech. I've been walking the dog, so I don't know. I missed the last.
Been walking the dog.
Minutes.
Yeah.
He listen, not for nothing. He said, well, we know the Chinese, according to President Trump, hacked into it, but did they do anything with it? Everything has been stuff. Maybe they got all those, and they didn't do nothing with it. He gave these left-wing news organizations a chance to actually go through it.
Richie, the guy. Listen, Trump got shot in the head. With his face is covered in blood. A Trump supporter behind him gets killed. 2 others get wounded, and they still say that nobody got shot. So it doesn't matter what you give these people. The haters are going to hate.
Yeah, I'm not against what he did. I just think it was whoever decided to put it out there like that. And I'm sure it wasn't him. I mean, not for nothing. Like I said, I just think that a lot of Americans are easy, and they're going to.
This is. Let me tell you. This is. Where were you watching the coverage of this last night and the analysis after and early this morning? You watching any of the analysis on television?
No, I didn't see any analysis. I watched it on Barry Cunningham.
Barry Cunningham. And I was very surprised that Fox. I listened to Fox's. I turned them on at 5 a.m. this morning. I listened almost 30 minutes. They didn't even reference it. And even Hannity last night, he cut away from it so quick and went right back to talking about Iran. It was very bizarre. They, like at Fox, they didn't want. It's like they don't even want to talk about it. They want to talk about everything, but they're talking about it more on CNN than they are on Fox.
Yeah, but did President Trump say that the Chinese gave money to certain reporters?
Yeah.
Was that? Well, why didn't he name any of those reporters?
Well, because they're being investigated by the Justice Department.
So they know they're being investigated. Justice Department don't tell these to reporters.
Not necessarily. Or they will at some time.
Okay.
If he does that, it biases the case against him.
Well, they bias the case.
Yeah, but we're talking about a legal process. Yeah, our attorney, this guy Blanche, is all over this.
Well, I can't wait for the morning to wake up and see somebody's name that goes to jail. I swear to you, to me, they all deserve to go to. I'm not against President.
Listen. Look at these juries. You got Letitia James saying her dad is her husband, getting mortgages, and you can't even get an indictment against her. The system's so corrupt. You know, I mean, give me a break. So, I'm not really worried about arrest or anything anymore. I just want to get the Save America Act passed and stop this crap. I'm more worried about the future than the past.
Yeah, that's.
But you're always looking for a way to feel like a loss. You don't like to feel good. You like to look at the negative and dwell on the negative.
No, he put it out there. I repeat myself. He put it out there, but these news organizations who he attacked, who didn't put him on, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He gave them a way to spin it the way they want to spin it, which they've been spinning it for the last.
All right, Richie. I'm gonna move on. But you guys out there, isn't Richie always disappointed in President Trump? Isn't he? Yeah. We just had this conversation over Iran like a week ago with him. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
You know, I can tell you, Mike Lindell, the great Mike Lindell, who spent his own money to say exactly what President Trump said, that there was hacking going on and everything else. It's so nice to find out that Mike Lindell was right, even though they tried to say that, he lost in court, blah, blah, blah. But, man, oh, man, the whole system, like you said, is corrupt. You know, what happened is, as soon as President Trump stopped, I went over to ABC. The first thing out of the woman's mouth was, he's been talking about rigged elections forever, and it's been all debunked by the courts, and there's been no hacking of any kind of whatsoever.
Well, what they're leaving out is, see, a lot of what happened. We've got Radcliffe, who is the director of the CIA, and then Kash Patel, both found all these burn bags that they didn't burn, and I'm guessing that they just were burning so much they never got to them, or maybe some of them got scared that they're burning so much evidence. I don't know, but they notice they're not talking about any of that. And what it showed is that there was a coordinated effort with the intelligence community and the FBI to not give him information about any of this in his first term, and they documented it, which shows. I mean, and if you notice, all these people in the media, they're not talking about any of that, and that is all new. These are new documents that were declassified last night. They were not declassified until the speech. And Caroline Leavitt had her first press conference back from the maternity leave yesterday, and she says, "Well, these things will be declassified tonight. The president has not declassified them yet."
Yeah, exactly. This is what makes everybody on the media go crazy. Think, what are we going to do now? We have how we're going to make the new evidence not evidence.
That's correct.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
They're working hard, and that's their job, I guess. But man, you're sickening to see how
yes.
bad the media is, and how the Democrats are trying to cover it up. Terrible.
All right, Doug. You take care. All right, you take care. All right, now it's time for our first break of the second hour. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. I want to talk about Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and this is really, this is so important. When I first met with Jamie Levac, he came very highly recommended from someone that I know personally and well. And when I met with Jamie LeeZep, and he started talking to me about taxes and my taxes and everything else, you know, I've met with accountants over the years and things. I have never met someone who loves accounting as much as Jamie LeeZep. He loves it, and it's like a game to him. And you know what he loves about it? Saving you money and getting you money back from the IRS. You know, that's what he really loves doing. And the work that he does puts money in your pocket. Listen, if you owe money to the IRS, even if you've already made a settlement agreement with them, but if you owe back taxes, or maybe you owe money to the IRS and you haven't dealt with it yet, those are some scary, tough times, right? I understand what you could imagine that you're going. Call Jamie LeeZep. He'll handle it for you. He's got a direct line to the IRS. He'll take care of it for you. I've seen him do this with people in this listening audience. It is amazing. We had one listener. He was one of our first listeners that went to see Jamie LeeZep. He's on one of our commercials for Jamie LeeZep. He owed back taxes to the IRS, and he'd been paying them. You know, he had some kind of payment arrangement. Jamie LeeZep went and looked at his back taxes, found out he didn't owe any money to the IRS. In fact, they owed him money, and you know what? He got him the money from the IRS. Isn't that something? So if you owe back taxes, if you haven't filed in years, if you missed the tax deadline this year or in the past, give Jamie LeeZep a call. And remember, Jamie LeeZep can help you with your taxes no matter where you're located in the United States. 954-773-1587. This number rings directly to Jamie LeeZep, so you can call or text 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, Brian, this is Joan from Tampa Bay. I just got to say, Jupiter Joe Thomas, I called him. I almost fell off my chair. A 5-year annuity, I get a hefty monthly allowance, and I don't even touch my principal.
You know, I mean, give me.
Spin it the way they want. He should have just come direct.
Out there that have not yet done it, take advantage of the no-charge consultation that Jupiter Joe Thomas offers. I'm going to give you the number. It's 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. In Joan in Tampa Bay, I think you might be the new Jupiter Joe Thomas commercial.
Well, it's a win-win situation. You never lose your principal.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, again, the number for Joe Thomas, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. Open enrollment may be over, but that doesn't mean your Medicare questions are. If you're turning 65, new to Medicare, moving, or qualifying for a special enrollment period, you may still have options. Don't guess when it comes to your healthcare coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors at 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. She'll walk you through your Medicare Advantage, your supplements, and your prescription drug plans. Then help you find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. You don't have to figure this out alone. Call Debbie today at 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. Debbie can help you with your Medicare no matter where you're located in the state of Florida. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, helping you make Medicare simple.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
It's Brian. Have you ever noticed that every morning I'm alert, wide awake, and well-rested? That's thanks to Mike Lindell's MyPillow. With the MyPillow, I sleep comfortably and deeply each and every night. And right now, you can get the MyPillow for just $19.98 without promo code KANE at checkout. check out KA&E at MyPillow.com. Just $19.98, and you'll get the best night's sleep you've ever gotten. Promo code Kane, KA&E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Ryan. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Calls on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. Now, again, it is Open MAGA Mike Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind today, but my mind's focused on the president's speech last night. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi, good morning, Brian. Michigan calling here.
Hey, what's up?
I was really pleased and so proud of our president last night. I'm just so positive about everything that's starting to happen. And the one thing I was really impressed with is he didn't make this about himself. He didn't make this about proving that he did win 2020. He's making this about why we need this Save America Act to pass ASAP. And this is what he's outlining. Listen, Doc called him. Doc needs to start listening to someone else first thing in the morning when he gets up. That's his problem.
Who's that? Who? Oh, Doc?
Doc. Be positive. It's all coming. And you know what, Brian? I'm going to tell you something. I'm so excited what's going to happen in Michigan and what they're going to discover and uncover in Michigan. But I thought it was good, and I was impressed, and I think this is just the beginning.
No, you're right. All right, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah, and what the caller just said from Michigan is very true. This really wasn't about 2020. It's about getting the Save America Act passed, and was explaining some of the reasons that it is important to do that. I am going to play, though, some of the president here, and this is the president last night.
We are likewise winning in Iran. You will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly.
Yeah, see, this is the part Richie was bored about. He's talking about us winning the war without any ground troops. Oh, I'm bored. He's talking, Oh, sorry, Richie.
America is back and doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed, because no country can be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country, because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness, and that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years I've called for a bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure. One where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure.
See now, this is what I was talking about with Doc in the first hour, okay? Everything President Trump brought out last night was declassified at that moment. No one saw any of this until his speech last night. So how was this debunked on television instantly when the speech was over, when these are documents that have just been released? Right? Saying it's all debunked is just a lie.
foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you. The American people are beautiful, are great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov.
You know, and this, you know, like with Richie's call, oh, I can't be bothered with going to whitehouse.gov. What else are you doing? You know, and the thing is, the key document. It's like today when a celebrity comes out with a book, you really don't even have to read the book. If it's something everyone's talking about, all the good parts of the book are released online. Everybody's talking about it, right? When one of these controversial books come out, and it's the same thing with this. Already, all over social media, the key documents are coming out. And some of them are pretty shocking, and these are all brand new. This is nothing we've heard before. It's nothing we've seen before. I mean, some of them are documents that show the misinformation campaign that the CCP was involved in to get the media to accuse President Trump and his followers of being racist, to try to cause racial divisions. There's a long list of things, all of which was done. And the Save America Act is being held up by some really bad people, namely John Thune. But this is to put pressure on Thune to do the right thing when it comes to the Save America Act. And I think he will. Now, I want to tell you guys, you know, our 11th annual MAGA cruise is coming up. And, you know, our next cruise, which is in March, and they're mostly in March, mid to late March and early April. And the reason that is we've done cruises all different times of the year. That's the best weather. It's the best weather, not just the best weather on the ocean, but it's the best weather in the islands too, where it's not too hot. You know what I mean? So that's why we do them that time of year every year. It's just the weather's the best. And if you've not joined us on one of our MAGA cruises, this is one you will not want to miss. Now, we have incredible group pricing, so you'll get a great deal, but there's some summer specials going on. And, you know, we've built up such a great cruise family, and I've become really good friends with many of our cruisers. In fact, coming up in the next couple of weeks, I'm getting together with some of our cruisers. We're going to the gun range and we're going shooting. And you know, we got together. We had a 4th of July party, some of us, and now we're going to the shooting range, and we're all bringing our guns. One guy, he's got an AR-15. Another guy, he's got an AK-47. I'm bringing my Glock and my 38, and some others are bringing their different guns that they have. And we're going to have a shooting party at a gun range coming up in a couple weeks. We're all getting together, and I mean, we just have a great time. And we a lot of us, we get together throughout the year as well. But the prices are incredibly, just incredible. Not just our group pricing, but there's some summer specials on top of it. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Now, to join our MAGA cruise, you have to book through Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. If you get his voicemail, leave a message. He will call you back. 561-244-5779 for Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Partly
sunny Friday. Good chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly this afternoon. Daytime high expected into the lower 90s tonight. Showers and thunderstorms early in the evening, becoming mostly cloudy, then mainly clear late night, and the overnight low in the upper 70s. Saturday, good chance of showers and thunderstorms. Daytime high into the lower 90s, overnight low around the 80 mark. And Sunday, about the same with a high into the lower 90s, overnight low in the low 80s.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Vehicle crash with injuries and a roadblock in Palm Beach County, I-95 northbound, south of Donald Ross Road at mile marker 83 in Jupiter. All northbound lanes are blocked, so use another route. Florida Highway Patrol out of Lake Worth has issued a silver alert that's for endangered adults. Be on the lookout for a white Toyota Prius, Florida tag SMCV50. If you see that vehicle, dial star 347. From the traffic center, I'm Ray Thomas.
That's your traffic brought to you by PBKC. It's a great week to visit PBKC. Catch all the top horse racing action, including the excitement of Saratoga, the $1 million Haskell Stakes, and more. Watch, wager, and win in style at the Paddock Restaurant, featuring all the OTB and sports action on over 140 HD TVs and 3 giant screens, plus delicious food and friendly service. And this fall, don't miss incredible tribute dinner shows celebrating the music of Queen, CCR, the Beach Boys, ABBA, the Bee Gees, and more.
Probably a little early. What time are we going to be back?
Like 2 minutes or so.
Okay, I'll call him in a... Call him again.
Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to urine neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours at the doctor's office or waiting hours at one of those big labs. That's why I go to Any Lab Test Now and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only 2 advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
All right, we're back. Call us on hold, stand by. You know, the FBI agent with the redacted email that said I'm running my shadow government, right? She said I'm basically running a shadow government across the FBI at this point. Put it in writing. Was one of the documents the president declassified. Not only has that agent been identified, found out that after she did that, she got a promotion for doing it. So things are happening. But you know, people have a TikTok attention span right now. If it doesn't happen in 3 seconds, it's, you know, nothing's happening to them. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Pennsylvania.
Hi.
Yes, you're on the air.
The speech was very good.
Yes, it was.
He did very well with the speech last night.
Yes, he did. Okay, yes. The next part we don't need to hear. We don't need to hear the next one. Did you check the delay on? I was just thinking, we're kind of, you know, it's after 7:30. I haven't had to use the dump button yet. Before I take another call, it better be on. We're in trouble. No, we're not in trouble. We're fine. Oh, my goodness. You got to check the delay before we go on the air. Yeah, okay, delay is on and active. Callers on hold, stand by. Oh, my goodness. But no, it's a woman, and she got a promotion, a big promotion, after she did this. And, these people are freaking out because they didn't envision that there was any scenario where Trump came back for a second non-consecutive term. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris,
Hey, Chris.
how you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Basically, after 10 years of voter fraud, he still haven't came up with no real evidence. Like I say, it's been over 10 years.
Uh-huh.
What he come up with, blaming China?
So 250,000 non-citizens registered to vote in 4 states. That's brand new.
There's no factual evidence.
They have the documents. They have the document, and they released it. The documents are on that government website.
There's no government.
Okay. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that the documents are being dropped all over X by people pulling them off the site.
Once again, there's nothing supporting what he's saying.
Yes, there is.
Nothing.
You can tell you. Listen. You can say that all you want.
It don't matter what I say. It's not even.
Well, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you this. I agree with you. It doesn't matter what you say. I will agree with you on that point. All right, take care. See, this is where we're going now, right? Every liberal that's called so far this morning, all they say is it's not true and it's debunked. They don't talk about any of the details of it. Do you notice that? There's nothing there, nothing new, nothing to see. It's been debunked. You're on the air. What's your name? What's your name?
Tom.
All right, Tom. Where are you calling from?
Okay, you heard me. Good morning, sir. Yeah, I've listened to you for
Oh, here we go with the sir.
a year or so.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. And you're really quite a character. I love our president.
Yeah, I can tell.
You do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know what
Here we go.
speech last night. I've never called in.
I thought it was an incredible speech.
Me too. God, I was so,
Yeah. Why don't you just get to the part that you're building up to?
Oh, I'm just curious because I've never called you before, and I kind of like listening to you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you. I just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah. Really? You chickened out on what you were. Yeah. You found out about me, huh?
I saw you did one down in Dayton Collier when you went to Alligator Alley, and I was a pilot for Pan American Airlines for a few years. I was 21 years.
Oh, when I went to Alligator Alcatraz?
Yeah, and I saw you did. I didn't know who you were, and I saw that video, and I thought that was cool because I used to train. I was an instructor for Pan Am Express.
So you're old. I mean, I barely remember Pan Am. Oh my God, that's it? I would have thought you were like 85. I can vaguely remember Pan Am.
My dad was Pan Am captain in 1957 and 1987.
Okay. Well, listen. Well, welcome to the show, and I'm glad you found us.
Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see so much support for our president.
Uh-huh.
So much on the other side.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you,
Here we go. Here it's coming, Mike. So I've been waiting for it.
didn't when I was younger, I mean, sometimes I think always had the ability to make sure that the network showed any sort of a broadcast.
Mm-hmm. No, they didn't have the ability to do that. They didn't have the ability to do that. The networks just did it because it was true. It was the right thing to do. But with this president, they don't want what he's saying out there, so they don't cover it. They don't air it.
I mean, what is the right thing to do?
Well, when the president of the United States speaks, no matter who they are, you carry it.
That's what I'm saying. Right, that's what I'm saying. All my life, I've never seen a president deny the 3 networks that we pay for to cover anything ever from Nixon was the first to Reagan I voted for to all the rest.
No, they've carried them all. They carry them all. They started with Truman, and since there was television, since there's been television, no matter what the president's talking about, no matter what he is, they break in regularly scheduled programming and carry it, except with President Trump. So why do you think the networks didn't carry it last night?
Well, because we're all part of it.
That's correct. Yes. All right. Take care. All right. I thought he was going to be dumped there. I thought he was. I'm not going to tell you what the tells were, because I don't want these lunatics to correct their signatures. But there was There was a tell at the beginning. There were two tells, actually, in that call, right in the beginning. And I had my finger right next to the dump button through that whole call. But, hey, listen, I'm right most of the time. Profiling is not an exact science, but it's pretty close to it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Elias.
Hey, Elias. Where are you calling from?
California.
All right, California. What's up?
Good morning, Brian. So check it out. I work in a solar project, and there was damage to a pallet, a wooden pallet, and the wooden pallet happened to knock off a piece of wood exactly in the shape of Donald Trump's head with the hair, the flowing hair. What do you think I should do with it?
What I think you should do is one of two things, okay? Either stop doing drugs or maybe this is better, stop trying to be funny, because you're not.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah, you are.
It's a one-of-one thing that happened.
I don't know. Come on.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Come on.
I'm serious.
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Well, then I think my first recommendation: stop doing drugs.
This is a one-on-one phenomenon.
A one-on-one phenomena. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a piece of wood getting perfectly broken into the silhouette of
When you tell a joke and it bombs, the worst thing you can do is to repeat the joke that bombed. It's not funnier the next time.
I have a picture of it.
I tell you what, I'll tell you what. Post it right now,
Yes.
on X and tag me.
I will. And
Do it right now. No, do it right now.
interested in buying it.
Do it right now. I can't, no, I haven't even seen it. Do it right now.
Brian, I don't have X. I'll put it on Instagram.
Of course, you don't have X? You don't have X. All right, appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. First off, he said he was going to do it. He said, okay. And then I guess he thought I was going to say, okay, I'll hang up on you, then do it. And I wanted him to do it right now while I was, then all of a sudden, oh, well, I don't have X. Well, he didn't say that the first time. The frustration I have with liberal callers is just, to me, how can you have a debate or a conversation if everything out of their mouth is a lie, right? There's a different, they call us lie. Disagreement on issues is not a lie. They just make crap up. First off, he started by saying that the wood was shaped like Trump's hair, and then it was a perfect silhouette of his whole body. Oh my goodness. So I just can't, I just have a low tolerance when somebody is lying every step of the way, right? I mean, I don't mind disagreement, and disagreeing with one another and all that can be a good thing, and that's what we do here. That's why we take calls that are screenless, because we want people to call in that disagree with us as well as agree. But I've lost track of how many Democrats I've talked to today, but none of them have had even attempt at a conversation at one thing President Trump brought up. Either they want to say, it's a lie, it's been debunked, there's nothing new, although it was all new, or this guy here with the wood that he's trying to sell me, but he doesn't want to show me. All right, if you're on hold, say bye. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, that's what I thought. See, we're getting them. Today, I'll tell you, if what President Trump said last night was all not true and not factual and everything else, they'd be lined up telling me exactly what he said and what's not factual about it. I haven't gotten that call yet. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Ryan, Brian. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Are you going to hang up on me today?
It depends.
Please don't.
Every call ends with a hang up, right? Like if my wife and I are talking on the phone, someone's got to hang up. That's how phones work.
Yeah, just let me finish.
Pick your best question and lead with that.
Okay. You said that Trump has the documents and
Yes.
White House. Yeah. Did you check them out?
Well, they've been leaking and been posted all over social media. People are putting them all over X all morning. I've read some of them.
Did you go to X or did you go to White House?
What, did he give out the wrong website address when he was? I don't know where people. I don't know the website address, but people are going to the website and taking screenshots of the documents and posting them on X. No, I've not gone to the website.
Yeah, I haven't looked at them on X, but I went to the one on .org. It took me a minute. A lot of it crossed out, though, man.
Well, it's called redact. Some things you have to redact.
Right.
You can't give out people's personal information. They have to redact that by law. But the meat of it is still there.
If you go there, you'd be appalled. It's mostly redacted.
It is not mostly redacted. I'm looking at documents on X, and really the only things I've seen redacted are names and email addresses. See, this is another one of the things they're saying, that everything's redacted. I'm looking at documents all over X that are from the website, okay? Well, I'm on the air. I don't have time to surf the web right now. I'm on the air talking.
I'm not saying go now. You just said you were looking on X.
Yeah, like I'm looking. If you look at these, if you look at these documents, like I'm looking at some of them now. The only thing that's redacted is an individual's name. Everything else is there.
I would just implore you to go to the actual White
No.
House. Anyway, this is my question. About the Iran war, can we talk about that real quick?
Briefly, because I got to go to a break. Yeah, I'm late for the break. I'm 3 minutes late for the break.
Oh man, Brian, you do this to me every time.
Well, we have if you've noticed, we have commercial breaks like every 15 minutes, right? Although the next segment's going to be short. No, no. How many times have you heard me hold hold on? How many times have you heard me hold a call over through a break?
You go to a break every time.
You think I'm going to a break because I'm afraid of you?
No, I just say you go to a break every time.
Well, we go to break every 15 minutes. Rarely do I hold a call over through the break, only if they're interesting enough. No.
I have a question.
Nope.
People want to know another side.
Nope. I'm not. You're not worth holding over. What's so funny? What's so funny? What's so funny? Go ask your question. Yeah.
What's so funny? What's so funny, Brian? You don't want to hear me talk.
You have been wasting time with this victimhood rap. You could have asked the question. Yeah. Oh, you don't want me. What is your brilliant question that you think is worthy of me holding you over through the break? But be quick.
Definitely worthy.
Well, then ask the question.
Why did Iran get the $300 billion?
They didn't. They did not get $300 billion. That's not true. Huh? What? They didn't get it. All right, appreciate the call. He thought that was worth hanging over? That did not happen. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Dr. Phil Appleton, I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking...
Hey, Barry, it's Brian. Hey there, we're in a break. It's going to be a couple minutes, but I'll take you coming out of the break. Okay, great. Hold on.
Testimonials are marvelous. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. You know, Jamie, a lot of people missed the tax deadline on April 15th. Not only is it not too late for them to file, but they may have, with the new tax code, a huge refund coming that they're leaving on the table, right?
Absolutely, Brian. If you haven't filed your taxes and you've been avoiding it because you're worried about penalties or late fees, if you are anticipating a refund, give me a call. There's a good chance there is a substantial amount of money left on the table for you. Again, this is your money. You worked hard for it. Give me a call anytime. Jamie Levac, Swift Tax.
Yeah, and remember, Jamie Levac can help you with your taxes no matter where you are located in the United States. Give him a call right now, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
Summer just got better with American Summer Sale from Margaritaville and Steve.
What are the spots in the next hour? The live reads? What is it?
Sloman's.
Okay, I'm gonna at least one of those. I'm gonna do those in the next hour. I've just got a little. Barry's on hold. I got to do life imaging and Dr. Appleton. I'll try to do life imaging before the top.
Yeah, whichever works.
Yeah.
You need a plan of action for your retirement plans. You need the advice of a retirement expert who can help you protect your money, guarantee your income, and stop losing money. Joe Thomas is president of Retirement Network Advisors, South Florida's premier retirement experts, and has been for over 20 years. He's seen it all and is a true professional that you can trust. They're family owned and operated. His daughter Jenny works with him. You know Joe and Jenny from right here on True Oldies. He's the host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show, and he's been doing that for over a decade. You need Jupiter Joe's book, The Retirement Know-It-All. Mention my name, Brian Craig, and receive a free copy of his ebook. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. Take advantage of his free phone consultation too. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Brian, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you have for us today?
Well, you know, there are a lot of goals that people have when they come into fitness with regard to their estate planning. Certainly, it's avoiding probate, avoiding guardianship, making sure they're properly cared for if disabled, and making sure that their loved one's inheritance is protected from creditors, lawsuits, marriages, and then divorce, all of those things. But back to the number one goal is avoiding probate. And there's multiple ways of avoiding probate, but one of the key ways is setting up a revocable living trust, funding your assets, titling your assets into that trust, and then those assets won't go through probate. And what that does is it prevents your loved ones from having to deal with going to court. Imagine setting things up in a way so that at your death, at the ending of your life, your loved ones are going to hire attorneys and go to court and deal with it for a year or 2 years and wait for the inheritance to come to them and spend a whole bunch of that inheritance money that would have gone in their pocket and have it go to the lawyers and the court system just because you didn't set things up properly or didn't keep it up to date. And that's what a good estate plan does, is it helps people avoid going to court, whether it is probate court or even guardianship court while they're alive yet incapacitated. So a good estate plan avoids court interference, and that's one of the key goals, and that's what we help many clients over the years achieve, is having an estate plan that works, that's going to work smoothly and avoid court interference.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and remember, for the month of July, in honor of America's 250th anniversary, the Siegel Law Group, Attorney Barry Siegel, is offering $1,000 off. So make sure you mention that when you call 855-FLA-3782 Remember, the in-office consultation is free. Plus, this month you save $1,000. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Brian.
All right, take care. You know, it really is so interesting to see how people are dealing with this, right? You know, and if you've listened to the callers today, and I listen to every syllable of every word that every caller makes every time you call. You may not think I do, but I am. I wear headphones, I hear everything clearly, and I listen to everything you say, and I very clearly. Every single caller today that's taken issue, look, what have we heard? There was nothing new there. It was all new. It's been debunked. How could it be debunked? It wasn't released till 9 p.m. last night. Who debunked this? Who did all this research and debunked it since then, right? Oh, it's all redacted. No, it's not all redacted. Richie's was the best. I was bored. You know, I haven't heard a single person who takes issue with any of it go into any specifics. You know, I'll tell you who's in trouble is this FBI agent that said that they were running their own shadow government. They've been identified, they have the documents, and she was given a promotion after. The focus of everything that's come out so far is on that individual. Believe me, they're freaking out. And a lot of people are wondering probably why are there so many documents left behind? Because they never dreamed that Trump would come back for a second and non-consecutive term. So there was no need to dispose of everything. And then when it finally happened, they either had so many documents they were trying to burn and they couldn't burn everything, or they were afraid they'd get in trouble for destroying evidence. I think the first one's probably the truth. When they talk, you know, we heard Bongino and Kash Patel talk about all these rooms they found that were just overflowing with burn bags that didn't get burned. And thankfully, they didn't get to it. All right, we'll take some more calls. I cannot believe it's almost 8 o'clock yet already. I cannot believe it. I'm looking at these guys outside. You would think they've never seen a convertible before. They're making such a... You see these guys? Do they work at the radio station? Do they? Oh, they work downstairs? Oh, okay, good. Because I don't want to be bad-mouthing people from the radio station. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carlos, what's up, Lucy, Florida?
Hey, Carlos, what's up?
Hey, when I was a kid, well, not kid, when I turned 18, my first president that I voted for was Reagan. And if you got 69 million votes, from there on, even Obama, all that was a landslide. There's no way nobody could beat it. Now these guys are getting 75 million compared to 81 million each. I'm talking about each, not even to one side. So something's wrong there. And remember when Giuliani showed the film of those two black girls after they closed the thing, they said they were going to start counting in the day, in the morning, and then they started pulling those baskets from under those things?
Yeah.
How come those girls were never interviewed or arrested, or where did those baskets come from?
Remember that truck driver that had the press conference that drove a semi-truck of ballots to Pennsylvania? I mean, it was nuts. Yeah, I know. I'd like to know what happened to that guy. Is he still above ground? I don't know. I forgot about that guy. Somebody should check up on him, do a wellness check.
And I remember that night, Trump was, I can't remember the state, but he was up like 96,000. Then the next morning, he was under 28,000.
Yeah.
And when the Congress ballots, not even one, he still had the same number.
See, what President Trump did last night, and this is going to become, as the weekend goes on, okay, this is going to become more apparent because this stuff came out. You know, I had, to be on the air at 6 in the morning, I woke up this morning at 12:30 in the morning to get ready for the show and do show prep and everything else. And this stuff came out in the middle of the night. It really hasn't been analyzed yet. All we're really analyzing now is what the president said. And the more documents that the public become aware of, President Trump is doing what they've claimed he's not been doing. He is producing evidence to back up the claims. These are documents. Some of them are emails by the guilty people. Okay.
Stuck on the jail.
It may happen. It may happen, but it may not. But listen. I've kind of resigned myself that none of these people are going to go to jail. I'll be satisfied if the Save America Act is passed and becomes the law. Listen, I got to run for the top of the hour break, but I appreciate the call. You too. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top. The show's flying by. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back with your calls and more. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian. Back after this.
Partly sunny Friday, good chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly this afternoon. Daytime high expected into the lower 90s tonight. Showers and thunderstorms early in the evening, becoming mostly cloudy, then mainly clear late night in the overnight low in the upper 70s. Saturday, good chance of showers and thunderstorms. Daytime high into the lower 90s, overnight low around the 80 mark. And Sunday, about the same with a high into the lower 90s, overnight low in the low 80s.
Weather brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Roofers who respond. Serving South Florida for over 20 years. Promoting integrity over profitability. And focused on doing right over being right. Protect your home or office today with Code Red Roofers. Call 844-4CODE-RED. CodeRedRoofers.com. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Vehicle crash with injuries and a roadblock in Palm Beach County. I-95 northbound, south of Donald Ross Road at mile marker 83 in Jupiter. All northbound lanes are blocked, so use another route. Florida Highway Patrol out of Lake Worth has issued a silver alert that's for an endangered adult. Be on the lookout for a white Toyota Prius, Florida tag SMCV50. If you see that vehicle, dial star 347. From the traffic center, I'm Ray Thomas.
At your traffic, brought to you by PBKC. Freedom, fireworks, and high hands. It's all happening this July in the Poker Room at PBKC. The excitement never stops with high hands every 15 minutes, every day from 9 a.m. to midnight. Plus a $15,000 cash giveaway and $100,000 progressive weekends. Take your shot at exciting new July poker tournaments or hit the tables for Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum. Bet all day, every day. For details, go to pbkennelclub.com.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back. I was listening to this, another silver alert. Every Friday there's a silver alert, it seems, isn't there? You hear it on track? You know, if you have someone that's older, that you throw an AirTag in the trunk or something. I mean, you know, gee whiz. You know, I have an AirTag in all my vehicles, and I have, remember a couple years ago, some of you, some guys tried to steal my Vespa from me while I was off the side of the road. Two guys came and tried to hold me up. So I have an AirTag on my Vespa, but I also have a location tracker on my phone, so my wife always knows where I am, because I didn't really know where I was exactly when those guys came up to me. But if you have an elderly person in your put an AirTag in their trunk, okay? All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, my goodness. They can't figure out the phone. I got to let them go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm John from Jupiter.
Hey, John. What's up?
I know on Friday you can bring up what you want or different topics.
It is open phones on Friday. That is correct.
I heard you were at Jupiter Joe.
No, we don't talk about sponsors. We don't talk about sponsors. Okay? I mean, my goodness. I tell you, this is, I got to tell you, this, I started the show by telling you that the biggest evidence that everything Trump said last night was true, right? What was the biggest evidence, right? I said this right at the top of the show, right when I came on at 6. The biggest evidence that everything President Trump said last night was true was not these documents he released, that he declassified, that nobody had seen before, but they all claim they've been debunked, even though nobody has seen them until last night. It's that these liberal networks didn't carry it. Now, the second biggest piece of evidence that Trump is right is every single caller today that's a liberal has done everything but talk about the specifics of what Trump brought up. Every single one. And what that last guy was doing. Come on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay. See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? This is it. This is it. This speech last night. This speech last night. This really blows my mind. It really does. The people that don't like Trump, for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter who, liberals have never liked the Republican president. There's a new movie coming out about Ronald Reagan, okay? And do you know who's playing Ronald Reagan in this new movie? Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels is one of the most, you know him, he was in Dumb and Dumber, and he's a pretty good actor. And he's one of the biggest liberals in Hollywood, Jeff Daniels. And that's really saying a lot because you guys know how liberal it is out there. He had that show, The Newsroom, with Jane Fonda a few years ago that was on cable. And he's playing Ronald Reagan. And it's about the summit with Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev in Iceland, the one that Reagan walked out on. And a lot of people are saying, why would Jeff Daniels... I saw a trailer of the movie yesterday. I had not heard of this movie, and I saw a trailer of the movie, and I'm going to see it. It's coming out in theaters. I'll probably go to the theater to see it so I can talk about it with you guys. And I'm looking forward to it because I remember when that happened. I reference it sometimes when I'm talking. I've referenced it many times on the air, that particular summit with Reagan and Gorbachev. But a lot of people are wondering, why would Jeff Daniels, why would he play Ronald Reagan? So that he could make him look like a senile old coot is why he would play Ronald Reagan, okay? That's why. That's just what they do, right? They want to make him look like a creep, so they play him. And the thing that is a constant with liberals, the ones that are still liberal, and there aren't as many as there used to be, but there was a caller earlier who brought something up which is very true, that in states all over the United States, for the very first time, Republicans outnumber Democrats. Here in Florida, for the first time, there are more registered Republicans than Democrats. And that's true in other states around the country. And there's been some analysis here in South Florida that says Palm Beach is going to go red which would not surprise me, because Palm Beach has gone along with the change of the airport. They've gone along to Donald Trump. They changed some of the roads named after Donald Trump. Although one of the airlines is offering at no charge to change your destination to another airport if you don't want to land at Donald Trump International in Palm Beach. Can you believe that? Pretty crazy. But the people that are left, because there's been so much red pilling going on over the last few years, the people that are left that are liberals are some of the lowest quality people you could possibly imagine. Half of them are mental patients, at least, right? And there's always been liberals. There's always been liberals. But they haven't been like this. Half of them are mental patients, and the other half are just dysfunctional, right? Whether they're trans or they're involved in something that, Republicans don't approve of. You don't hear from, and I'm not talking about the media. The media doesn't count. I'm talking about like callers. And today's show's been a great example of this. There has not been in the over 2 hours, and I've been taking calls since the beginning of the show. In the over 2 hours I've been on the air, there has not been a single liberal that's called into this program that's been a normal person. Every single one of them has had, displayed in their call, some form of weirdness. There hasn't been a single reasonable, normal person. And the way Democrats used to be, there's always been the weirdos, but you used to be able to have conversations. You may disagree, but you could have a conversation. And the Democrats that are left are the bottom of the barrel dregs. The type of person that you could have a conversation with, like a rational conversation with, they're no longer Democrats. They've been red-pilled, And this movie I was telling you about Jeff Daniels, why do you think that movie's coming out? Because it's on the eve of the midterms, and they want to make Republicans look like nuts. I'm going to go see that movie. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But as hardcore as Jeff Daniels is of a liberal, I can't imagine. Like, I remember Richard Dreyfuss played Dick Cheney in that W movie. And people are like, well, why would he play Dick Cheney? He hates Dick Cheney. Watch the movie and you'll see. He made him.
while you're going through investigations, everybody says, well, why don't you just release the documents? Why don't you release it? We can't. We're under an investigation. We have things that we can't release until the discovery portions of things come through, and that takes time. And this is it. So, Doc, this is the information that you've been saying never existed, and everybody needs to realize the debunking has been debunked by this.
And I'll tell you, the idea that Obama received fewer votes than Biden on the face of it is suspicious on its own. But what came out yesterday, these were all classified documents that no one had seen, and they were not released until the president spoke last night. They were not declassified until then. So anyone who says that they've been debunked, they've just made that up because there's been no time to even attempt to debunk them.
Well, and me being a truck driver, they keep saying there's no information, but yet they don't say, wait a minute, there's no evidence. Okay, how about when they closed all of the voting things, and then they started pulling out stuff and still running the ballots through? Well, that's evidence. Remember when COVID happened and they said that there was trucks, refrigerated trucks that were parked out by the hospitals, and they were holding the dead people?
Yeah, and then last night when Major Garrett on CBS said, well, yeah, there's 250,000 foreigners registered to vote, but that doesn't mean they vote. Oh, okay. I mean, are you kidding me?
Well, it's the same thing, though. It's like, those trucks never were full. They were there for a photo op. I knew the truck driver that brought ballots from Pennsylvania down into the other thing. All of this evidence that they say didn't happen only didn't happen because the media said there wasn't any proof. So this is proof that verifies it and confirms it. So, second big one, people.
All right. Appreciate the call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, IB, what's up?
I'm glad you pointed out that John, I saw it last night, and when you say that they're looking at the ballot some of the left, the Democrats who are left, because that guy, the black congressman there, just looking the camera straight in the eye and gaslighting and lying to the people. But also we were trying to get ahead of the story, knowing that this information was going to come out about the election. So what I took away from Trump last night is the most important thing is the burn bag and Barack Obama's name, because how many times Barack talked about democracy? How many times Cheney talked about democracy?
Well, IB, see, here's the thing. Yeah, yes, you're correct. Everything you said is correct. Here's the thing. This is what's been lost in this discussion, right? And I don't mean just with me. I'm talking about how the story goes. What President Trump released last night was not to convince the media or the Democrats or even bring people to justice who broke laws over this. It was to put pressure on John Thune to get the Save America Act passed. That's what this was about. So the people that believe this evidence, and it confirms our suspicions, are the conservatives, the Republicans. The Republicans are the ones that can put the pressure on Thune. And already Republican members of Congress are starting to do that in both houses. That's what this was about. It wasn't to get CNN to say, oh, well, finally, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, President Trump, we were wrong, you were right. It's not about that. And it's not about trying to convince these Trump derangement suffering Democrats that call me. It's about getting Thune to pass the thing, because he's the obstructionist here.
And they didn't know that what Trump was going to talk about today, promising it. And this is why I think they got rid of Lindsey Graham, because they don't want that.
Exactly.
And they didn't know that Trump had more cards off his sleeve, and we're going to bring the receipt, like that gentleman just said. We have to go through it all, sort it out, find out who's guilty, all the people who did all the counting ballots, 8 and 10.
All right, well, listen, I got to run, IB, but I appreciate the call. I agree with pretty much everything you said. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ, what's up?
Hey,
it's kind of nice, if you guys watch on YouTube, it gets some behind the scenes stuff. Like, with some of these callers, if you're watching online, you've seen my right arm to the right. Because of some of these callers, I gotta have my thumb close to the dump button. But as soon as you said JJ from Mass, I could put my hand in my pocket. I've got time. I could reach if I had to, but I don't have to be I don't have to have my finger on the trigger, so to speak.
Yeah, you got your Matt Dillon. You got your Matt Dillon.
Exactly.
Right?
Gunsmoke.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, Steve actually said that to that one guy. He didn't have any idea what was going on. You remember that just like a week ago or so when he said,
Yeah.
Steve said, how's Matt doing? Anyway.
Yes.
Listen, Doc, it's insane, Doc, you can't debunk something, that doesn't exist. It's like, listen to what I'm not going to say right now, Doc. Are you ready? Okay, there you go. Now go ahead and debunk what I didn't say. You can't debunk something that hasn't happened. And, to these people out there, the Democrats and anybody who's thinking that this is bad at all, what's happening. I mean, the fraud is so expansive here that you can't just throw it all out. People will be overwhelmed. The truth has been coming out piecework. And last night, to me, when Trump did this, it's a lot more about, it's what you said about Thune and a lot of that, but it's also about helping to speed up the court cases. Right? They don't have to now go through the rigmarole of all the paperwork of trying to get into classified information. It's all been declassified. And I'll simply say this, Brian. When you go to the grocery store, you go to the grocery store for food, right? When you go to the bank, you go to the bank for money. You go to Friendly Mike's, you go there for tires, right? Why? I mean, when you have voter rolls, is it to make a freaking sandwich, or is it to interfere and steal a freaking election?
Well, this is another one of their things that they're all saying, right? Well, I saw what Jin Psaki was saying this last night. So what that China has all the voter rolls and everyone's information? You can get that on your own. We used to do that at the political camp. Why would they get this? This is the thing. Political campaigns. The reason your mailbox gets filled with mailers is because they get the list from your local voting precinct, the county or the state. But they do it for their party. Why did China get everyone, regardless of political party, Republican, Democrat, Prohibition Party, Libertarian? They got every voter roll everywhere. And by the way, they're not all available like they are in Florida, okay? And they got the ones that aren't readily available too. What'd they do, just to have a list? Believe me, they're up to something.
And Brian, those people that send out the mailers, they don't send 20,000 fraudulent driver's license along with them. That's evidence that was proven, that was intercepted. They showed video, they showed photos of it. That came from China. And here's the thing, that's the one that they caught. I mean, how many got through?
Well, what I'm the most interested in last night, out of everything President Trump said, was he said that there were members of the media being paid by China to report certain things, and none of it was good. I want to know who those people were and what outlets they were with, or maybe they were I don't know. I want to know who they were.
China wants us to go back. China wants us to go back to the good old days when both political parties were part of the criminal cartel, because they could just buy it. They could buy them off.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that they tried to stop Trump is Trump does not play that game. He is strict. He's ruining all the fraudsters, all the liars. He's changing every chessboard. He's destroying the old chessboard. Go back to World War I. You go to Keynes and Bretton Woods. You go to the chaos trap in Hormuz. Trump is
and another thing too, the elephant in the room. China did a lot more than this election stuff to try to stop Trump. And you guys all know what happened 6 years ago. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, how many people are dead because of China? I don't know what exactly was the main thing that had China so anti-Trump. It had to be more than just tariffs. But they attacked the whole world. Listen, I got to run for our break, but I appreciate the call. Each and every day, the heat index is over 100 degrees. It is so freaking hot, isn't it? The temperature's in the mid to high 90s, but the heat index, and those of you that are new to Florida, the heat index is like the wind chill. Remember the wind chill in the winter times up north? What the temperature is and what it feels like? The heat index is the same thing. And it's been, the heat index, what it feels like, has been about 102, 103 most every day this week. If you have an air conditioning system that is not cooling off your house, or you have rooms in your house that aren't cooling properly and are hot, or if your air conditioning is running all day no matter what you set it to. You need to call Sloman's. Listen to this. Sloman Central Air Conditioning is offering a high-efficiency 5-ton 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99. And I wish I would have known about Sloman Central Air Conditioning a little over a year ago. My wife and I bought a new air conditioning system. I'm not going to tell you what we paid for it. You know why? Because I'm embarrassed, quite frankly. This is an incredible deal. And get this, not $59.99, 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Plus, it includes a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, which includes annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant, so there's no annual maintenance charges for you. And, get this, you'll also receive the Sloman Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included with your AC package. Give them a call. What an incredible deal. 561-217-COOL. C-O-O-L. 561-217-COOL. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Partly sunny Friday, good chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly this afternoon. Daytime high expected into the lower 90s tonight. Showers and thunderstorms early.
Hey, what's going on? Oh, you rang the bell. I was wondering where the bell came from. Did you have anything in particular you wanted to get into? Okay. All right, I want to ask you something or two.
I wanted to thank Dr. Apple.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's a cool guy. I like him.
Should be good. Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation.
My wife is like,
AllYearCooling.com to schedule your service
Oh, really?
today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year
I haven't had any injuries since, but I've gone 7 times. I mean, really bad stuff, too. The first time I went, I'm like, there's no way. And it works.
My wife's like, because her legs were like, she's got leg issues with this after surgery, and she's like, Joe, for the first time my legs feel wrong.
Really?
Because they're usually cold.
Wow, so she saw really after one treatment. See, that's...
Yeah, she's got neuropathy, so, and we're going to go back to see him, but she had shots yesterday in the legs down in Miami. I know, dude,
sucks.
This poor girl. It's like, she goes, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. How's everything, man?
Good. I was going to stop by to help with the thing with your podcast. Okay. Well, what happened was I heard the when I went to edit that audio, I saw the audio problem, and it's just a simple thing. I can it'll just take a minute, so I'll stop by and fix that. Yeah, when I leave here, I'll stop. If you guys are gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there. I have somebody coming at 10 o'clock.
Is your daughter gonna be there?
Both of them be there.
Okay, it just take a second.
That's awesome.
She has to have it hooked up to the computer, the thing, and then I'll do it.
I'll tell her as soon as I get in the office.
Get all the details now at pbkennelclub.com.
What else is there?
Not much.
Not much. Good
hard to know where to turn.
presentation last
At the
night.
Harrison Assisted
Oh, I thought so. Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I thought it was meant for film.
Yeah. That
What's wrong with
was.
this guy?
That guy's a jerk.
meaningful engagement,
Come on.
and a safe,
They've been sitting on this for months.
Yeah. How do you not have a voter ID? You know,
Let us
Yeah.
walk
of
this
some
journey
sort
with
that
you.
proves that you can vote.
Visit harrisonstewart.com to
Crazy
learn
stuff.
more.
And our driver's licenses show whether you're a citizen or not in Florida now, which I didn't know that till recently. Yeah, right at the top.
Cool.
All right, and Mike, Mike was on during the whole break, our whole conversation, but it was okay. We weren't talking about anything that was inappropriate. We were having a good conversation.
Absolutely.
Could have gone the other way. You know, there's a rule of thumb, Joe, Jupiter Joe's. I have a rule of thumb. Anytime there's a microphone around, I just assume it's on.
Absolutely.
So you'll never hear me say anything I wouldn't say on the air.
No cursing.
I can't say that for Steve Kane though, because we've had some problems over the years. I want to talk to you about a couple of things, and then you went and saw Dr. Appleton with your wife. We'll talk about that too. But a lot of people, and I think this this started happening with the pandemic. A lot of people started talking about retiring early.
Oh, yeah.
Like 58, 62, and a lot of people want to take their Social Security. Should I take it at 62? Should I not? And I want to try to take mine at 70. You want to, but some people can't, and I get that. But I've known people that take it early, and then they'll say, "Oh, whatever they regret. You know, and I was thinking, and I don't know, you're the financial advisor, and everybody's situation is different, but you know, maybe is most people when they come to you, is it about they're already retired or are they getting ready to retire?
I get both ways.
You know, if somebody wanted to retire early, 58, 62, because that's a big window, a lot of people are, they could probably put off, with an annuity income, they could maybe put off that Social Security till retire, right?
Yeah, you could replace that income that you're going to get with cash, you know, get it turned into an annuity and get income payments and wait till 70.
And get the maximum Social Security instead of the reduced amount or something. Yeah, do people do that when they come into you? Is that something people consider?
Sometimes they do that. And you know, it really, Brian, it comes down to what the client is trying to accomplish. Do you want income now? Do you want to wait? You know, the biggest thing I get is people say to me, they actually want me to say they can retire.
Yes.
Seriously, if they're not retired, they want to know they can retire. And if they do retire, that they're going to have money for the rest of their lives. And that's what we
or not work as much.
Not work as much, or get a part. A lot of people say, I'm done with my full-time job. I want a part-time job.
Yeah.
And if you work a job for 30 years, man, 40 years. I had a guy, 52 years he worked for the state. 52 years,
He's burned out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. You
know? Yeah, and a lot of people are, because hey, listen, I want to get my maximum Social Security. I've been paying into it since I was 15. Right. You know, I want to get it all. I want to get as much as I can. But a lot of people, they work a lot longer than they want to, or maybe even should, because they're trying to prolong that Social Security, get as much as they can every month.
True.
And with an annuity, that annuity income every month replaces what you would be getting from the Social Security, so you can put that off.
Absolutely. You know what?
That makes sense.
You think of a lot of things I don't even think about because you know, you think about this stuff and it's rightfully true. You know, you got to figure out what's best for your situation. Waiting till 70 makes sense.
Yeah.
But some people don't have that luxury, and they're 62. They lost their job. You know, a lot of people
get
displaced from a job, and then they need to have income. They need that Social Security at 62 or 65 or whatever age.
Well, a lot. You know, when you're in your 50s and early 60s, it's hard to find a new job.
Oh yeah.
People don't want to hire you, right? For all kinds of all this ages. You know, it's kind of a funny thing because you get to these certain points in life, and then you realize, well, I'm getting older because all these things. My friends are dealing with this ageism. I've lost my job. What do I do?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where annuities come in.
Sure.
You know, the thing with annuities, because I've learned so much about them from you, it's absolutely amazing. And I don't know why everyone is not in annuities, and they certainly should be. But there's a bunch of different annuities for different situations. You know, and mostly I talk about income because that's what that's where my mind's at, and I think that's where most people's minds are, right?
90% of people coming in, when I show them that they get an income stream for them and their spouse, and never run out of money, and anything that's left over goes to their family. They're like, why haven't we done this before?
And the money that you get from the annuity, it's like your Social Security check. Whatever the date is, it comes in to your bank account on that date every single month.
And to the penny, it's never going to change. It's going to be the same.
Yeah. You know, and a lot of times over the years, I've heard people like complain about fixed income, but I think the opposite is true. I think being on a fixed income, if you've got enough income coming in, is awesome, because if you're on a fixed income and it's enough money coming in every month, you can blow all of it every month, because next month it's there again, right?
Mailbox money.
Is that you know, I don't know. That's how I look at it.
No, I had a guy retired from the Breakers not too long ago, and he said to me, I worked 40 years here. He said, now wait a minute, I'm going to get this check every month for the rest of my life
without working.
And he goes, he had a hard time coping with it for the first 6 months. Now he's fine with it. You know?
Well, you know, I think a lot of people don't know about annuities because, you know, most of the time, if you go to a financial advisor, they're dealing with stocks and things like that, and not annuities. Right. So they make money off of those transactions, and they want you in stocks and and all of that. So they don't want you to do I think that most of the financial advisors really don't want you to be in annuities.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are like that, yes.
You know, so a lot of people aren't aware of them.
True.
You know, and I think if you call Joe Thomas and you schedule your no charge consultation, I think you'll have a good conversation, and you'll say, wow, I should have done this before. And the biggest mistake you can make is thinking that you do not have enough money or enough in assets to get an annuity.
True.
Right?
We start with $10,000, $25,000. You know, I mean, it just depends on your situation.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, I was talking to you, I was on your show recently, and I was talking to you about this, is that annuities have been around for a long, long time. The annuities are what the super rich have been doing and known about forever, and it's kind of a new thing for like middle class people.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting, you know, the big executives on Wall Street.
Yeah.
They all have pension plans. When you hear a parachute
Yeah.
plan, when they get, you know, fired or they,
Those golden parachutes.
yeah, that includes pensions and 401k and lump sum deposits that were made on their behalf, and
Yeah.
annuities are part of that deal.
You hear that, guys?
Yeah.
And so, listen, give Joe Thomas a call. I'm going to give the number. This is for the no charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And you can also find his number on his website, jupiterjoe.com. Now, you went over to see Dr. Appleton on Saturday.
Yeah, me and my wife drove down to Pompano, and he's not only a straight shooter, it makes you feel at ease right away.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
A lot of doctors have the wrong bedside manners. This guy made me feel like I was in his living room having a beer with him. You know,
Well-
great guy. And I don't mean to put that lightly, but I'm explaining that, you know, you need that level of
Yep.
anxiety. I'm not even getting the work done. My wife is getting it
Yeah.
done, the laser treatment.
Mhm.
She came out, she has neuropathy.
Mhm.
She has some other issues with her legs. And I said, look, let's go to Dr. Appleton. And it worked out
Well,
great.
you know, there's nothing worse than going to a doctor. You ever see this happen? You go to a doctor, they come into the room after you've waited forever, and while they're talking to you, they have their hand on the doorknob. They're halfway out of the door while they're talking to you.
I always say that you wait
I hate
45
that.
minutes and they're in there 10 minutes.
And they're out the door before they're even in the door. I
You
hate
spend
that.
more time with the nurse than you do the doctor.
And you know, Dr. Appleton, you're right about Dr. Appleton, and he's a workaholic. He works 6 days a week, not because he has to, but because he loves what he does, which is ridding people of pain. And I haven't seen Dr. Appleton in a while, and I feel bad sometimes. Like, no, he says, this is what happens. He says, people come to me when they're hurt and in pain, and then I rid them of their pain. I don't see them again.
He
You
cares
know?
about what he does, and he cares about people, and that's what's important, Brian. I mean, you got to care. That's my whole thing is I always put myself in the people's shoes. You know, I don't want to tell them what I would do. I want to tell them what they should do,
Mhm.
and that's what Dr. Appleton does.
Well, listen, give Dr. You just heard, guys, after I had the phone number, you just heard the new Dr. Appleton commercial. We just recorded a commercial, Joe. Give Dr. Appleton a call, too, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710 and online, appletoncairo.com. All right, Joe Thomas, we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Larry. I'm from Plantation.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah. Yesterday you talked about Amy Coney Barrett. And,
Yes.
I heard a statistic
She's the worst.
that prior to the Roe versus
The overturning of Roe v. Wade. Yes.
Roe v. Wade case, yeah. She voted conservatively 81% of the time.
Uh-huh.
After that case, the first semester, she voted only 57% of the time in the conservative way, and then the last semester, whatever you call it, only 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So she's definitely been affected by the liberals and the way that they've responded and the threats that they've made. And you're right, she needs to retire.
She cannot be a fair and impartial jurist anymore. She's scared, and I don't blame her. You know, these are scary people, and she's got kids, but she needs to retire. She can get some big job, $5 million a year, teaching 1 or 2 law school classes a year. They'd love to have a Supreme Court justice on staff, and retire because she's compromised. And her staying on the court is just ego.
Yeah, it's terrible, the decision. I sit there and every day I'm wondering, how could you make the decisions you've made? It's just so common sense.
But you know, I'll tell you, we've had problems with Republican women on the court. Sandra Day O'Connor was appointed by President Reagan, right? The first female on the court, and she voted with the Democrats like all the time. And, you know, what happens a lot of times with these justices, they're politicians, regardless of what anybody wants to think. You know, they're usually a federal judge, and then they get appointed to the court, usually. Not always, but usually. You don't get presidential appointments unless you're politically connected. And when you get on the Supreme Court, you have a lifetime appointment. You don't have to kiss butt anymore. And a lot of times you get to see what they really think. You know what I mean? But with Amy Coney Barrett, I haven't liked her since she gave Trump COVID. She almost killed the president in his first term. And I'm not kidding about that. That is very true. But she is too afraid of the mob. And she really needs to resign. And I'd have so much respect for her if she came out and said, you know, these threats against me and my family, I can't do it. I can't be an impartial jurist anymore. I'm afraid of this woke mob. The ones that Marco Rubio was talking about yesterday. And I don't blame her. These are scary people.
I agree. By the way, the last time I had a conversation with the liberal was over 25 years ago, one where we could discuss things. It was over 25 years ago. It was over taxes.
Yeah.
And, other than that, you can't talk to them.
No, you can't. Well, there's the ones that the point I was trying to make is there aren't as many liberals as there used to be, and most of the ones that are left are just mental patients, obviously, right? I mean, you can. That's they're not rational. All right, appreciate the call. All right, take care. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing, Brian? Tom from Florida. I got to ask you a quick question. Trump wins, the elections are fine. He loses, the elections are rigged. Now, when he just won the election, right? What happened there? Did they interfere or not interfere?
Maybe, but not enough because we had a massive turnout. If you may, you want to repeat it? Yeah, it's what I said. And if you remember, President Trump before the election, he had kind of a campaign slogan. We've got to swamp them at the polls. We've got to swamp them at the polls. You heard him say that. So in 2020. Because of the pandemic and the lockdowns and the shutdowns, it was a unique situation. Plus, there were more eyes on things in 2024. Laura Trump was all over it.
Oh, all right, cool. I was just curious.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You're a liberal hack. You're not curious. You just don't have an answer to my response to your idiotic question.
Listen, mate, you ready for this? Why is it that we are having to deal with nothing but the economy? And why is everything always about him?
What are you talking about? What is Trump making about him and not the people?
Hold on. I don't think that any time, any of his speeches or anything like that he has ever said he wants to help the Americans.
Really? So when he passes a law, when he passes a law with no tax on tips, that doesn't help people. He and his family don't work on tips.
Oh, him and his family don't work on tips?
No. So when he you said no, it means what I said. You said that he doesn't do anything to help the American people. No tax on tips, that doesn't help the American people. You can deduct the interest on your auto loan on American-made cars from your taxes. That doesn't help Americans.
I said, why is it always about him?
It's not.
You know, it always is, Brian.
And you're twisted mind. Listen, I gotta run for a break, but take care, Tom. All right. Yeah, we got another one too. The show's sold out. Okay, we're very much in demand. We have a lot of commercial messages to get out. All right, we'll take our break. Come back with the gold report and more right after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the Steve Kane Show.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house. There's never a downtime. They're old school, which means call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse? Weather, traffic, whatever. Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Give Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. 954-604-4602. LaportaRoofing.com. They'll never sell you a roof you don't need.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business for
Very
30
much a
years
name,
at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. We are back on Brian Steve Kane Show. We were not able to get William Youngerman on the line, so I'll give you his information in just a moment. But you know that that last caller, Tom, does he not back up what I've been telling you, that every single liberal that we've talked to today is nuts. They're nuts, and they're at this insane level of just total craziness. Now, I do, though, want to talk about life imaging. You know, life imaging, you know, this is more of a public service announcement than it is a commercial, because people go to life imaging and they find out that they've got blockage or a cancer before it gets worse, or before they have a heart attack, and they can go to their doctor and get treatment before, well, the worst happens. And it's amazing. And I talk to so many people in this audience who go to life imaging and find out, sometimes they're very lucky, like me. No blockage, no buildup, and clean bill of health, and no cancer. And boy, what a peace of mind that has been. And I've certainly gotten my life back. But sadly, sometimes people have found out that they've got cancer, they've got a tumor, they've got blockage, some quite a bit. And they take care of it because they go. Life Imaging have locations in Broward, Dade, Palm Beach County, and in Orlando. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now, with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250, just say free heart scan, and you'll be connected in seconds. I'm just going to wait and see if William Eggerman reaches us before I give you out his number. But I want to end today with this, okay? The reaction of the media during the day yesterday, before the president's speech, the moments after the president's speech, and what I saw overnight, to me, seemed nothing short of complete panic. What I saw from the media last night was fear. Didn't you? That's what I saw. And what are they afraid of? They've been caught. See, you know, all these things that they did, they didn't cover their tracks very well because they didn't think they had to cover their tracks, because President Trump was out of office. There hasn't been a president that's come back for a second and non-consecutive term since the 1800s. Only happened once before. And the odds of that wasn't even on their radar that something like that could happen. So they didn't really feel there was a need. Plus, you know, when they had their guy in, they got away with it. And if they would have gotten a Republican like Nikki Haley or one of those establishment Republicans, no one ever would have looked into this. But, you know, it's what I was talking about with a caller earlier, and Joe Thomas and I were talking about this during the break, before he and I were talking, that the audience last night was not the mainstream media or the Democrats. The audience last night was Republicans, and to put pressure on Thune to do the right thing. I want to tell you, This is really a sick and twisted situation we're in right now in this country. As Republicans, we control the entire federal government. We control every branch: the executive, the judicial, and the legislative branch. Okay, that's I told you he's right there. And we can't get this through. I knew we would hear from him. William Youngerman, I couldn't get you. We were trying to get you during the break, and I said, we'll hear from him before the end. And here he is from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated. William Youngerman, how the metals ending the week?
Metals are ending up slightly, but the markets are very volatile right now. We had gold in a range so far this morning of $3,964 on the low, all the way up to $4,008 on the high. And right now they're selling them off again. Gold at $3,968.80. That's down $6.40 from yesterday. Silver, which got down under $55, is now at $55.06. That's down 33 cents. Trying to find a bottom somewhere around that $54. We're possibly going to see a bottom, but maybe as low as $50 on silver. For great buying opportunities to come in and buy. Platinum down $46 at $1,567, and palladium down $12 at $1,219. So all metals are getting near their new lows and giving us a great buying opportunity. Gold, $3,968.
Yeah, you're going to be busy today. People are going to be coming in there and loading up on gold. And this is, people that are into the metals, these are the days they wait for. So because what William Youngerman just announced is there's a sale going on today. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in. And remember, at William Youngerman's, all the metals are available for immediate delivery at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto, right over there by Meisner Park. And you can also give him a call. Again, he opens up at 10 a.m. toll free, 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Okay, you too.
All right, take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Fred. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
This is Mike from Georgia.
Hey, Mike in Georgia. What's up?
Hey, what's happening? I've been sharing with the listeners that I'm about that here you go. How many Muslim countries kill their people for leaving Islam? There are 7 Muslim majority countries still that theoretically mandate the death penalty for apostasy.
Wow.
And that's
Well, that's a good reason not to go to a Muslim country.
well, they're coming for our country, so they're coming to attack us. So we're
Yeah.
trying to get out.
Yeah, I know. New York City has fallen.
Yes, sir. It's pretty rough. Well, I just wanted to share that.
Okay.
Anybody want to come back?
Well, there's not what better way to start the weekend than with that.
God bless America, sir.
All right, take care. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But just to finish up on this. So, we control the entire federal government, the executive, the judicial, and the legislative branch, and we can't get something like this passed? Are you kidding me? The Save America Act should have been passed instantly on day one. But see, this guy Thune, who's a disciple of Mitch McConnell. And if you notice, since that AI photograph of Mitch McConnell, we haven't heard anything about Mitch McConnell since then. Have you noticed that? So Scott Jennings over at CNN, you're not off the hook yet, okay? Because I'm not buying that you had a 17-minute conversation with him. But Thune, everything last night was to put pressure on Thune. And while the media and liberals, we heard all this before, there's nothing here. Conservatives are fired up right now about this. And they will indeed put the pressure on Thune. And you already saw last night, there's Republican members of Congress that are calling on Thune to pass it. And you know what? They're going to, because he's going to have to. He's going to be out, and the way that the House has passed this through, he's out of excuses, right? You know, they passed the Save America Act in the House. I think was that the fourth time, and you know they've got all these stupid rules in the Senate. They're not laws; they're just rules that they bring up, like this filibuster. And when something's a part of a budget bill, it avoids the filibuster for some reason. That's an appropriation, so they put it in with this spending bill. So Thune's out of excuses, right? But, you know, he's going to be forced to do it. He's kicked the can so far down the road and put it off. If it passed today, would it be in place in November? Probably not everywhere. Maybe in some places, okay? But you can't let that, we still want to have it done, right? And what you're going to find, a lot of states are going to do what DeSantis did here in Florida. DeSantis passed our own version of the Save America Act, which we have here. And states will do that before November. But we've got to pass it now. Even though we're going to win the midterms, it's still a crapshoot. You can never be 100% sure how an election is going to turn out. So we have to pass it and get it in place while we control all three branches of government in both houses. We're going to win, but maybe we won't. And then we won't be able to pass it, but we can now. And that's why there's so much pressure being put on now to do it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian Colonizer with Bell from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, yes, my favorite caller.
Yes, shalom to you also.
Yeah, shalom. Oh, my goodness. You know, no, he's not here today. I think he heard you were going to call in, and he said, I'm not going on today. See, you know, I've only got a minute because the show's going to be over. But some people may say the show was over the minute that you said your name, right? And you can make a good case for that. You and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago where you felt humiliated, right? And I understand that. But it's been 2 or 3 weeks. Get over it. I've even forgotten what the conversation was about. I remember laughing at you and you feeling stupid. I don't remember what it was. But just get over it. Everybody's forgotten. All right?
No, I'm over it. You have to give me some credit. You guys give me a lot of crap, but I keep coming back.
Yeah, but you are the worst you are the worst caller to this show. You are, you know how I would describe you as a caller? A show killer, radio death. But the show's over, so you know, appreciate the call. We'll see you Monday morning at 6 a.m. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. God bless America.
DJA AM Delray Beach and in Martin County on 14.
All right, guys, I got to take off.